Lots of excitement brewing around the Los Angeles Lakers after Lonzo Ball balled out during Summer League. But does he make the Lakers a playoff team already? TMZ asked Charles Barkley that very question.
Are the Lakers a playoff team?
No.
No?
Hell no.
Not even with Lonzo?
No.
Bo, what do you think of what Charles had to say?
Playoff is a stretch. Like, we're going to say that they're going to make the playoffs in the West strictly on the strength of Lonzo Ball, who none of us think can guard anybody. Like, this is a really good summer league, but the impact of one player on an NBA team is not what it was, say, 25 years ago when Shaq hits the league and suddenly one of the worst teams in the league is almost fighting to get into the playoffs. We saw Anthony Davis hit the league and become the player that we all thought he was. His team's been to the playoffs one time since he got there. So I feel like we're asking too much of Lonzo to take the Lakers, who earned the number 2 pick the quasi-old-fashioned way by being really sorry and getting the lottery picks, is all of a sudden going to take that team to a level they haven't been at. I just don't think he's that much better than D'Angelo Russell.
Here is the best case I can make for these Lakers. The Western Conference has 15 teams. 8 of them make it. Last year, the 8th seed was 41-41. The Portland Trailblazers. The Nuggets were 40-42. And they were the 9th seed. I don't know if Lonzo Ball is going to be a difference maker on the level of 20 wins alone. I am not saying that. But I do think if they were the 10 seed or the 11 seed, does that count as close, Charles Barkley? Does that count? Because they're kind of in sniffing distance of the playoffs. They just happen to be simultaneously in the bottom third of the conference.
I mean, that might be able to count as close, right? But I do think that we lose sight of how much ground there is to make up if you're trying to get into the playoffs in the Western Conference. Like, the Nuggets went from a team we did not think about to suddenly being one that we're looking at what the future might be for them. So you go through 1 through whatever it is, all those teams that were above the Lakers, how many of them are they legitimately going to pass? So think about the Pelicans, for example, right? The Pelicans are in that bottom of the West.
Yes.
I would like to think somebody's smart enough to figure out how to make Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins work. Like, that feels like it will be that feels like it will be a playoff team. So that's one team that we thought of as being sorry that's now thrown in there, okay? The Clippers are going to fall off. They're going to get worse than the Lakers. Like, do we think that's going to happen? How far do you think Utah's actually going to fall just on the strength of Gordon Hayward? So forth and so on. The Lakers are going to be down there for a little bit, and then they're going to maybe get LeBron and Paul George, and it's going to be silly that we even had this discussion.
Well, it's also silly because regardless of whether they are good or not, we are going to be talking about them all year. And that's the fun part of where Charles Barkley and this team collides. We're just here to talk about this stuff. That's it.
Yep.
We're just here to have fun and laugh.
Right.
Charles Barkley's not here to be held accountable for this prediction. People become Charles Barkley to stop being held accountable for their predictions.
But that's what we learned about Mayweather. The ultimate lesson from Mayweather and McGregor is we're just looking for a show, man.
That's it.
It's going to be a show. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. We're just looking for a show.
Either way, it's better than talking about the Nuggets.
Oh, the Lakers are more. And when's the last time the Lakers were this interesting, right? Like,
that's what I mean.
Since they didn't win a championship. Like, we are now all in on Lakers, which is so much better for the NBA, because the one thing they could always count on was the Lakers being good. The Lakers have been boo-boo for 5 years in a row, and the league has suffered, I would argue.
And the cast of characters that they have there, you could argue, will put butts in the seats, led by Lonzo Ball this year. So maybe it won't matter how they finish this year, especially if everybody's looking to 2018.